0, 1, 2, 3. Let's get started.
Real good.
Why they stopping me?
Welcome to the World Echelon Racing Association's inaugural season. Looking at the standings, we have Earnhardt, Canadian Guy 420, and Just Rustic all in the top three. This week we're at Autopolis International, and lights out, and away we go. This is a very action-packed race with drama and action starting right at the very beginning. Here we have the top three heading hot right off the start of the race with Earnhardt, Empire, and Canadian Guy breaking away from the rest of the pack. Going into turn one, we can see the top three are still very close, and Rage and iCrazy rounding off the top five going into turn two. Lots of storylines during this race, lots of drama. Lots of moves as we can see here. Empire wasting no time whatsoever on Canadian Guy, putting the pressure on right away, diving on the inside of the right-handed hairpin on the first lap. Just behind them, iCrazy goes wide on that same hairpin, losing the position to Saragon. And Rage getting on the gas a little too early, losing the rear end and unfortunately going into the wall, falling down to last place. Tough start. Back at the start of the race, on turn one, we had an incident with Raw Racing, making some contact with Colonel Mustard, unfortunately compromising Raw's racing right at the beginning and causing him to go wide. Colonel Mustard was not affected with this collision despite the fact that he pit lap one. This was all part of his strategy. Going into lap two, the top three remain the same. Earnhardt in first with Empire holding P2 after making that move early on the first lap. Canadian Guy 420 maintaining third place, Saragon in P4, and iCrazy in P5. We can see here Empire getting a 0.5 second penalty after going wide on this crucial turn on lap 2. Just behind them, Ace and iCrazy with a tight battle for P5 on the second lap, and he's going to be overtaken by Ace, and iCrazy falls to P6. Empire with his penalty, still not wasting any time though. Still battling for position. Every second matters when racing is this tight. Here on lap 3, we have Empire serving his penalty. He very strategically takes the inside line and is able to maintain P2. The other drivers on the grid better watch out for him today. Here we have Saragon at P4 chasing down Canadian Guy 420. Lots of traffic behind him, but he seems to be unfazed with Ace right on his tail. Lap 5, Saragon and Ace continue to battle. With Ace on his bumper, Saragon is not cracking under the pressure. At the start of lap 6, we have iCrazy and Fraji battling going into turn 1, and iCrazy missing his braking point is going to go wide, and Fraji and Rustic are going to capitalize and get by him, pushing him back into P8. Lap 7, we have Empire and Canadian Guy 420 still battling for P2, with Empire Soft starting to show their age. Canadian Guy 420 passes him down the back straight, and it looks like he's able to take his P2 back quite comfortably and retain that position. Behind them, we have Saragon battling for P3 with Empire. Empire still on his worn soft tires, but appears to be going into the pits now. Fraji and Rustic are also going to follow for a set of new tires. Earnhardt is able to comfortably maintain the lead going into lap 9, building up a good gap from Canadian Guy 420 just behind him, P2. Fraji and Raw Racing battling for position, with Fraji going wide but able to recover quite quickly and carry on. A crucial mistake on lap 12 from Saragon while entering the pits. He unfortunately does make contact with the wall, compromising his position and sustaining damage. Meanwhile, Raw, Fraji, and Just Rustic are in a close battle, and Fraji goes wide, allowing Rustic to take the position and continue on. Earnhardt's first pit of the race is on lap 13, and Canadian Guy 420 is going to take over P1. Ace, Bailey, and Raw Racing follow Earnhardt into the pits. Lap 14, here we have Fraji missing his braking point and narrowly avoiding contact. Fraji did sustain damage during that sequence, but thankfully was able to avoid making contact.
Whoa! Where you going, Andrew?
Lap 14, Canadian Guy 420 and iCrazy make their first pits. Canadian Guy going on the hards while iCrazy takes the softs. Lap 15, Ace and iCrazy are battling for P3. Ace on the hards and iCrazy on the softs. He's going to make the easy move on the inside and overtake Ace. Just a lap later, we have iCrazy passing Just Rustic and taking over P2. Canadian Guy 420 and Ace battling for P4 going into lap 17. No shortages of battles and no shortages of close calls during this race. We have Ace defending, and the pressure gets to him as he goes deep into turn 1. Canadian Guy 420 takes the position. And here at the front, we have iCrazy and Earnhardt battling for P1, with iCrazy able to take position going to turn 1 on lap 20. Not far behind, we have Bailey and Just Rustic having a tight battle for P7, with Just Rustic all over Bailey and able to just narrowly squeeze by and make his way towards the front of the pack. iCrazy coming out of the pits on lap 23 and sustaining a costly 3-second penalty for just going over the pit line upon exit. But there is no stopping him. He is still battling for position with Just Rustic. No shortage of battles during this race. At the hairpin, there is slight contact as Just Rustic tries to make the inside move. Just Rustic does eventually make it by iCrazy, but as we approach the hairpin, just before the penalty serving spot, we can see iCrazy dives on the inside of Just Rustic, still asserting that he is there to battle. Lap 24, we have Canadian Guy 420 and Ace battling for P2 going into turn 2. These two drivers have been all over each other this entire race. Wheel to wheel racing, this is what WERA is all about. Further back, we have Rage and Colonel Mustard battling for P8, and Rage is able to overtake him and make his way towards Bailey and overtake him as well for P6 on lap 25. A great recovery drive from him. Lap 26, we have Fraji in P10 and Saragon in P11. Fraji moves over to the side and narrowly allows Saragon to pass by, knowing Saragon is on the fresher tires. Battling with Saragon would ultimately cost them both time. Lap 26, going into lap 27, we have a battle for P7 between Bailey, Empire, Colonel Mustard, and Saragon with Fraji not far behind. Bailey just hoping the cars behind him continue to battle so he can create some more space. Here we have Saragon and Empire making their way through this pack and getting right on Bailey's bumper. These two drivers are on fresher tires and lower fuel, while Bailey is on the hards waiting to make his last pit for softs. He will do everything he can to keep them behind. Empire is going to attempt a move for the overtake on Bailey, and he's just able to get alongside him, but not able to get the overtake done just yet. Saragon close behind Empire, just waiting for a mistake so he can capitalize. Here we have onboard footage of Saragon, his point of view of the battle between Empire and Bailey while he is right in the action. Going into the last turn on lap 27, Empire and Saragon are going to overtake Bailey. All drivers doing their best to leave space. Bailey jumps in the pits for softs. Fast forward to lap 29, we have Rage in P5, and he's going to be overtaken by Empire, and right behind him, Saragon makes his move past Rage as well. Some very tight battling between these three drivers. We have some onboard footage between these vehicles as well, as Rage and Just Rustic now go wheel to wheel, and Just Rustic gets the move done. In just a few corners, Rage has dropped from P5 to P8 on more mediums. Now, Empire going wide, allowing Saragon and Just Rustic to close the gap for P5 as Just Rustic overtakes Saragon on the same corner. Not long after that, Just Rustic is going to overtake Empire on lap 30 as well. Further back, we have Fraji, Colonel Mustard, Rage, and Bailey battling for P8, and Bailey goes deep into turn 1, allowing Rage by, with the WERA founders going 3 wide into turn 2. Colonel Mustard and Fraji also make it by Bailey. A crucial mistake that dropped him from P8 to P11 in 2 turns. Thankfully, all 4 vehicles came out unscathed. With Rage leading, Fraji, Colonel Mustard, and Bailey behind, chasing him down. Some very close racing from all these drivers. Rage and Fraji battling for P8 as you can see. Fraji afraid his tires are starting to show a little bit of signs of wear, but makes it by Rage anyways. Up ahead, we have iCrazy and Canadian Guy battling for P4, with iCrazy navigating that Alpha through the tight corners, but ultimately losing some pace on the back straight. Lap 31 on board with Fraji, of him getting a half-second penalty after just slightly going off track. Up ahead, we have Saragon and Empire trading paint for P6, with Empire just getting by and holding the position going down the back straight. Lap 32, and Fraji serving his penalty, but Rage was able to capitalize on that small mistake from the lap before and take position, ultimately holding on to P8. Saragon and Empire continue to battle going into the final lap, with Saragon leading coming out of the final corner, but both vehicles very close right on each other's tail, and Empire ultimately regaining his position back into turn 1 on the start of the final lap. Up ahead, we have Ace and Canadian Guy battling for P2. Trying to find a way around QC2PE, who has a blue flag, QC was unable to move off the racing line during this stint. Unfortunately, QC was having issues with his vehicle and was eventually forced off track. At the end of the race, Earnhardt took the win with an absolute dominating night, followed by Ace and Canadian Guy 420 battling hard for P2 right till the very end. Ultimately, Ace did hang on to P2 with Canadian Guy close behind. P4 belongs to iCrazy, followed behind by Just Rustic and P5. And we have Empire and Saragon, P6 and P7 respectively. Rounding off the rest of the grid, we have Rage in P8, Fraji in P9, Colonel Mustard P10, and Bailey in P11. Raw Racing P12, and then QC finishes it off in P13. Thank you so much for tuning in.